Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Trebas Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Tonight, the local arts community is demanding the San Diego City Council restore cuts to their funding. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. They're holding a rally downtown ahead of a public hearing seeking input on the proposed budget. KPBS reporter John Carroll joins us live from outside City Hall with more information. John?
Maya, I'm here in Civic Center Plaza, where I would say very unofficially, unscientifically, there's probably about 300 people here, people representing the broad swath of San Diego's arts community. I've seen folks wearing t-shirts that say they're from the opera, they're from the Old Globe, from the symphony, all of them with a singular demand to the City Council, and that is restoration of the $11.8 million cut that San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria announced last month. Now that is out of a nearly $6.5 billion city budget. Part of the point here being made by speaker after speaker is that this is a penny-wise, pound-foolish cut, very small in comparison to the overall city budget, but very, very meaningful to the arts and cultural community in San Diego. Earlier this afternoon, I spoke with San Diego Art Matters Executive Director Bob Lehman, who said once again, as he told me last month after that announcement, that the cuts are short-sighted.
The larger organizations, like the big museums in Balboa Park, they'll have to cut programming. They'll start charging for programming that was free. So things that were free for veterans or seniors or kids will now cost money. For smaller to mid-sized organizations, some of them will actually disappear. They won't survive this. So it's going to have some real impact in the city.
So this rally has been going since about 4:30 this afternoon. The City Council takes up this budget at 6:30 right here in City Hall, upstairs in City Council chambers. You can bet that most, if not all, of these people will be filling the council chambers to make their opinions very clearly known. Of course, we'll be following it, and we'll update you tomorrow across all of our KPBS platforms. Live from Civic Center Plaza, John Carroll, KPBS News.
I'm Ariella Scalise, and coming up tonight, we're partly cloudy with a shower or two around as temperatures drop to the upper 50s. We will watch a warming trend, although it still stays pretty drizzly along the coast, but some improvements ahead as we head into the weekend and much warmer conditions for next week. A closer look is coming up.
A high-stakes moment for the U.S. war with Iran. As President Trump convenes his cabinet, there are conflicting reports coming from Iran's state media and the White House. Brian Abel has the latest from Washington.
For the first time in 2 months, President Donald Trump gathering his cabinet at the White House as high-stakes negotiations evolve over the war with Iran.
They thought they were going to outweight me, we'll outweight him. He's got the midterms. I don't care about the midterms. People understand it. They know that, very simple, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Before the meeting, the White House Wednesday pushing back on a report by Iranian state media that outlined details of a memorandum of understanding to end the war. That report claiming the U.S. would pull back troops from the vicinity of Iran and lift the blockade of Iranian ports. In return, Iran, which controls much of the Strait of Hormuz, a main route for shipping crude from oil-rich countries to the rest of the world, would commit to returning traffic to pre-war levels within a month in cooperation with Oman, the report said. But the White House says nobody should believe what Iranian state TV puts out, calling the reports a complete fabrication. The response comes a day after the U.S. carried out what it called self-defense strikes, targeting Iranian missile launch sites and boats. As Secretary of State Marco Rubio said peace talks were being held up by disputes over wording. Trump saying this Wednesday.
They're negotiating on fumes, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we have to go back and finish it. Maybe we don't.
In Washington, Brian Abel, KPBS News.
Hundreds gathered today at Kalina Park in City Heights for prayer services on the Islamic holiday of al-Adha. KPBS reporter Elaine Alfaro spoke to community leaders who say this holiday, recognizing sacrifice and faith, feels especially profound following last week's shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego.
Allahu Akbar. For decades, the Muslim community has gathered at this park to pray on Eid al-Adha. The holiday recognizes the Prophet Ibrahim's obedience to God. Mahmoud Ali Liban Hidik is the Imam at Masjid al-Ansar in City Heights. He helped lead the prayer services.
For us, it's a celebration of a community, celebration of worship, celebration of remembering the Prophet's obedience, a celebration of humanity.
But this year, the holiday carries a heavier weight. It's been just over a week since 2 teenagers shot and killed 3 people at the Islamic Center of San Diego, and then turned the guns on themselves. Noor Abdi is a youth leader and on the security team for the prayer services at the park.
We have sacrificed a lot in this country. There are constant attacks on our faith and us as a people for no other reason other than what we have decided to believe in.
Also at the services was Ismahan Abdullahi, a board member of Huda Community Center. She hopes there's a tangible change following last week's attack.
It's a solace from a faith perspective, getting the strength from there, but it also makes me want to ask those questions of what does safety look like for us as a community, and are folks going to take anti-Muslim bigotry and Islamophobia seriously?
She's also hoping for solidarity from the larger San Diego community.
And we have a verse in the Quran in which God says that He created us into different nations and tribes so that we may get to know one another. We're part of that human family, and we're hoping that folks are able to just kind of stand strong with this community in this tragic time.
Kalina Park was one of several places throughout the county where the community gathered for prayer on Wednesday. Elaine Alfaro, KPBS News.
Residents returned to their homes and students to their classes today, one day after all evacuation orders were lifted following a chemical incident near Anaheim. A compromised chemical storage tank began venting vapors last Thursday. Officials say there is no longer a risk to the public, but as Gio Insagnarias reports, residents are demanding the facility be shut down.
Shut it down.
Emotions high at a special meeting of the Garden Grove City Council. The session focused entirely on the chemical crisis that has upended this community since last Thursday. The mayor set the tone early.
GKN must be held accountable for their role in this incident.
GKN Aerospace, the company at the center of this incident, the target of accountability from local leaders and from residents who expressed their concerns over what's been going on.
It's shocking to me that a company using MMA for manufacturing was allowed into a populated area.
Person after person coming to the mic, sharing stories of confusion, fear, and frustration, and demanding more from local leaders for what they describe as a failure to properly take care of residents.
Everywhere I went that night and the days after, it was heartbreak after heartbreak. There is a lot more the city and the state and the government should have done for these people.
Crowd many times responding with exuberant support. Ultimately, the message to city leaders tonight was clear.
It is the responsibility of every single member on this council to do everything in your power to ensure that GKN is held accountable.
And residents are still expressing their frustrations about paid parking in parts of the city of San Diego. Now, one North Park business owner says he is closing up shop before even opening up his doors. David Peterson had planned to open a premium cookie and beverage store with a listening and event space along Adams Avenue. He says he did extensive research into the area and invested nearly $72,000 into his business plan. But he told our media partner KGTV that he decided to break his 3-year lease when new parking meters went up.
When they brought in 8 to 8 parking 7 days a week, it basically cleared out this neighborhood. Will it be as bad as I think it might be? Maybe not. But for me to risk any more capital here, it just wasn't worth it.
Peterson says he is looking at another location. According to the city, when a meter is installed, it's meant to improve parking turnover, and the money raised through meters is used to pay for infrastructure costs. Millions of Americans didn't let high gas prices and soaring airfare ruin their Memorial Day travel plans, but analysts say the rest of the summer could tell a different story. Karen Kafa has a look at what's ahead and anywhere travelers might save.
Despite soaring airfares and gas prices, Memorial Day travel broke records, but the rest of the summer may prove the true test, and demand seems uneven.
Those with a little bit more money, with more means, they are the ones that are traveling the most, and the people that are on the economy side, they are the ones that are pulling back a little bit.
A survey conducted by Deloitte in April found 45% of Americans planned a summer trip with a lodging stay, the lowest level since the pandemic year in 2020. Those choosing not to travel, the survey found, mostly cited financial pressure, but those making a trip plan to spend more. Jet fuel costs have nearly doubled since the start of the Iran war 3 months ago, and as airlines seek to cut their costs, Sarah Kopit, editor-in-chief of travel news site Skift, says passengers pay more.
When that happens, airlines do pare back, and what that means is that there are fewer seats, there's more competition for those seats, which drives prices up.
Amid recent optimism that a deal to end the war could be close, analysts warn getting more normal oil, gas, and jet fuel prices will take time.
You have to move the ships, evacuate the ships that are trapped in the Persian Gulf. You have to restart the facilities that have been shuttered. All that is in the weeks to months timeframe. And then from there, you've got to think about repairing damaged facilities.
One positive sign for drivers, AAA says the nationwide average for a gallon of gas has trended downward over the last week. Still, prices are about 40% higher than 1 year ago. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
I'm Amna Nawaz. Tonight on the NewsHour, what the results of the Texas primary say about President Trump's grip on the Republican Party. That's coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
One of the nation's oldest environmental groups has entered the fight over a massive proposed data center in Imperial County. KPBS reporter Corey Suzuki says the Sierra Club is suing to challenge the county's approval of the project.
Last month, the Imperial County Board of Supervisors voted to merge several parcels of land, clearing the way for the proposed 950,000 square foot data center complex. Several supervisors said the lot merger was just one aspect of the project. Here's County Chair Peggy Price.
Now, this is just pieces of the bigger part of this project. And so that is why I voted the way I did today.
Now, the Sierra Club says that approach violated state law. In a lawsuit filed in Imperial County Superior Court this month, they accused the county of piecemealing the data center project. In other words, approving it in fragments, making it hard for the public to see the full scope. Mark West leads the Sierra Club San Diego chapter.
We don't feel like that was with full environmental review, which was required by state law. And that bypasses a lot of really critical safeguards that are put in place to really protect communities and actually natural resources.
Imperial County officials did not respond to a request for comment. The county is already facing another lawsuit over the project, brought by the city of Imperial. That case could be headed to trial as soon as next month. The Sierra Club has no official chapter in the Imperial Valley, but it does have around 1,000 members in the region and has been active there for years. Corey Suzuki, KPBS News.
If you have a tip for KPBS's investigations team, you can send an email to investigations@kpbs.org or message them on our secure signal line at the number on your screen, 619-594-8177. The medical community is bracing for what's known as trauma season. It refers to the period between Memorial Day and Labor Day, when the need for blood across the U.S. significantly spikes. Mandy Gaither explains why there's a predictable drop in the blood supply this time of year and what needs to happen to prevent a summer shortage.
It's the downside of summer. Over the next few months, severe injuries tend to spike from car crashes, recreational accidents, and outdoor activities.
From the hospital and blood bank perspective, that means we have to be prepared to respond quickly with life-saving transfusions and emergency care when these critically injured patients arrive.
The American Red Cross says about 25% of trauma patients require blood transfusions, and up to 5% of them will need 10 or more units of blood, which can quickly deplete a hospital supply. And this time of year, donations tend to go way down due to school breaks, extreme weather events, and travel.
We see a lower amount of blood products available to the hospitals, while the hospitals don't stop.
To help ensure a stable national blood supply, the Red Cross is calling on eligible donors to roll up their sleeves. All blood types are needed, especially Group O, which is often used for trauma patients. There's also a need for plasma and for platelets, which only have a 5-day shelf life.
When someone is able to come and donate, that is one of the most simplest and most direct ways to help save lives among your own community.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
As artificial intelligence continues to evolve, more Americans are concerned about the technology replacing human workers. And the concern is valid. Goldman Sachs estimates AI has reduced monthly payroll growth in the U.S. by roughly 16,000 jobs in the past year. But as Ryan Young explains, the technology can't replace every job.
A car requires a human touch. You have to have that human interaction.
AI cannot do what a trained technician can do.
People are concerned, and rightfully so.
Workers across all industries are growing anxious as advances in artificial intelligence and automation technologies move deeper into the workplace. Goldman Sachs estimates that as many as 300 million full-time jobs are exposed globally over the next decade as automation technologies from robotics to algorithmic systems evolve.
People are afraid because they don't know if their jobs will be next.
But Portia believes their well-paid technicians will stay in high demand.
Even if AI advances further in the future, I just personally don't see AI ever taking over our jobs.
How important is it for you to be able to put your hand in the spaces and be able to touch all the
Well, it's very important. Something is starting to deteriorate. You know, there's normally kind of like a pliability to some of these rubbers, right? And if you can touch it and you start to feel that it's hardening, then you know. And one of the things too that's super important is smell. It's an instant clue that something's not right.
I could never see a robot, bending their, parts to get into a crevice or a little point where a human could, a human touch.
A robot can't go through and notice some things like noises, even just small things that you might overlook. You have to go back through, kind of go back and forth. It's never always cut and dry.
Let's have some fun.
Keep going, and lift. And then just hop on the brake.
This car is like a scalpel to a surgeon.
What could you say to someone who's even thinking about the car industry or being a high-level technician like this?
Do it. Even when I was younger growing up, the trades didn't have a bad stigma to them, but they were always kind of pushed to the side. Whereas right now, the people that are getting into the automotive industry have so much more growth ahead of them.
The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that employment of auto technicians and mechanics is projected to grow around 4% over the next 8 years, just under 34,000 jobs.
I don't think there's really such thing as an AI-proof job. It's just those jobs that are AI resilient. And even when you think about mechanics and those jobs in the skilled workforce, I personally believe that right now, they're not going to replace the worker. They're just going to help improve efficiencies and make the tools better.
There's no way that you couldn't make money doing this. The demand is there for them.
It's very nice knowing that when I get out of here, I'll pretty much have a guaranteed job.
The job market is especially tough for those trying to enter the workforce. The unemployment rate for recent college graduates is higher than the national average, and fewer companies are hiring entry-level jobs. Jen Sullivan breaks down the numbers and has details on which industries are hiring.
Graduating college is a major milestone, setting students up for success as they enter the real world. But many are struggling to find a job.
They've spent the last 4 years learning how to get that first job. Something seems to have broken down here now.
Derek Thompson is the host of the Plain English podcast, which explores issues around technology, the economy, and culture. The March unemployment rate among young college graduates ages 22 to 27 was 5.6%. That's 33% higher than the unemployment rate among all workers, according to the New York Federal Reserve.
For the first time on record, young college graduates now have a higher unemployment rate than the general population.
Thompson says the decline in graduate employment began in 2022, which is also the year ChatGPT was released. But he says there are factors other than AI contributing to these low numbers.
What you've seen since 2022 is that the overall hiring rate in this country has gone down, down, down.
Recent data from hiring site ZipRecruiter found the number of entry-level job openings has decreased in the last 3 years. Yet the demand for level entry jobs remains high, which means there's more competition to land one of those openings.
It's kind of like the economy is a full house, right? Young people can't come in to the house, like the doors are locked, but everyone in the house, everyone who's older than 25, 30, they overwhelmingly have a job.
But it's not all bad news. ZipRecruiter also found that more recent graduates are landing a job within 3 months of graduating. When it comes to hiring, healthcare leads the way in openings, followed by engineering, computer science, architecture and urban planning, and finance, according to ZipRecruiter. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Getting closer to the end of the week and even the start of June. So what can we expect when it comes to our local weather? How about some slight warming, although coastal drizzle will continue to linger on our Thursday, but some gradual clearing through the weekend and then a big warming trend on the way as we head into next week as temperatures climb back above the historical average. The wind, that's been quite a nuisance here, and we'll continue to be watching that wind advisory through early Thursday morning. West winds 20 to 30 miles per hour. Could see some stronger gusts closer to 55 miles per hour. Not only can this blow around unsecured objects, could bring down some tree limbs, maybe even a few power outages, but also does make it a little bit of a concern at times for driving, can make things very difficult. So something to keep in mind as we head into the remainder of our night and into early parts of Thursday. The wind, look at that again, Mount Laguna at a cold 38 degrees. Meanwhile, there's that drizzle along the coast as temperatures drop to 50 in Oceanside, 59 overnight into San Diego, and 57 for Chula Vista. Storm lingers across parts of California into Nevada, and that's going to bring us that onshore wind and still bringing us those gloomy conditions, especially across the coast. You can see that here painted in tomorrow's forecast with Oceanside, San Diego, and Chula Vista drizzly, and it's still quite cool in Mount Laguna. How about 49 and only 79 in Borrego Springs? The wind is also causing an issue when it comes to the fire risk at times, as we'll watch those gusty winds continue through the day on Thursday. All right, let's talk warming trend and sunshine returning, right? That's what we want, and it comes in perfect timing. Friday through the weekend across the coast, we've got some pleasant weather returning. All right, inland, same story for you. Although your temperatures start to really rise by Sunday and Monday, we're back into the 80s and a warm up coming for you across mountain locations as well. We go from 49 to 76 by early next week. And how about back into the triple digit heat across desert locations as we start the month of June. For KPBS News, I'm Ariella Scalise.
There's a curious landmark in Lemon Grove. Thousands of people see it every day, and in fact, it's the symbol of the community. But as Ken Kramer shows us, it also has some history going back decades.
To start this story, behold the Lemon Grove lemon, centerpiece of the city, an iconic symbol of civic pride. Now, meantime, at a nearby park, because look, the Treganzas are here, members of an important family in Lemon Grove's history, I should say. Way back in the 1890s, Eduardo and Josephine came to our county, and their descendants, kids, grandkids, became not just citrus growers who helped put Lemon Grove on the map, but artists, educators, scientists, and naturalists who have always had what's been described as an unconditional love for Lemon Grove.
Worship the Lord and praise His holy name.
So the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Choir San Diego came, and local residents came to pay tribute to the Treganzas all, including Alberto Owen Treganza, a brilliant architect who strangely may be best known for what he did about a century ago. See, back then, he built the Big Lemon.
I think about him every time I see it, practically.
Nobody knew more about that lemon than Alberto's daughter, the late Amarita Treganza, who in her teens was an actress, worked in a lemon packing house, went on to be a nationally recognized pediatric optometrist, and who also helped save the town's church as an historical museum where it takes a good part of one whole room just to list the civic accomplishments of her family. Years ago, Amarita told us about this lemon. Well, the story goes back to 1928 4th of July parade in San Diego, and she was Miss Lemon Grove, riding on what turned out to be the winning float, which featured a huge lemon made of plaster.
Oh yes, I went up and helped him slosh some of that white whatever they made it out of.
Well, over the years, the town just fell in love with that lemon, couldn't let it go.
They didn't know what else to do with it, so they put it up by the railroad tracks.
In fact, she told us that lemon was once honored by a group of architects for being unabashed and exuberant, a monument to American chutzpah.
And to people who just cannot think small. I think that's nice.
No wonder that so many family and longtime neighbors and friends joined political figures and civic preservationists here on this day for this moment, an unveiling. Hereinafter to be known as Treganza Heritage Park, it's quite a legacy the family created over the generations in Lemon Grove, and their story is surely one we wanted to tell on About San Diego.
Ken Kramer's About San Diego is a half-hour show you can see every Thursday night at 8 o'clock right here on KPBS, with a repeat broadcast every Sunday afternoon at 4. Here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. NPR's Morning Edition is discussing the updated colorectal cancer screening recommendations released by the American Cancer Society. And KPBS Midday Edition is talking to two of the Democratic candidates in the running for the newly redrawn 48th Congressional District. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following: and by viewers like you. Thank you.